Hey, estranged parents. I read a post, and I'm really torn about this because loving parents would never deny their children, especially in their time of need, and that's according to normal standard societal standards, etc. And now we're dealing with parental estrangement, and I've been walking this path for 15 years, where my daughters parted ways. They're doing their own thing. There has been no contact. There has been no financial support, etc. There is no relationship. And I read a story, and I'm very frustrated and angry for this mom, because there is a certain amount of backlash in society when children go on the internet and they say, my mom won't support me, XYZ. She won't give me money for college. She won't pay for my wedding, this and that. And so they make you look like you are the most terrible person in the entire world. And society normally agrees with them because they don't know us. They don't know the story. They don't know our children chose to cut contact. So I'm going to read a portion of a post that I read, and I couldn't believe it. This woman has 3 daughters and a son that are estranged. 2 of her sons are not. She lost one estranged daughter in a car accident this past April. She flew in from out of state when she was called by a particular daughter telling her she needed to come, and they had no money for the funeral. She said, I would have regardless. That's my child. Short end, it was an absolute nightmare, the whole situation. What do you do when an estrangement occurs and you're dealing maybe with an ex-husband or daughter or son who has passed away, and nobody in their life has money for a funeral? My answer is going to be damned if I do, damned if I don't. So if I give the money, I deal with having to be around my other estranged children for the funeral, and then they say, because that person was cut off from you or they didn't want anything to do with you, you don't have rights to make arrangements or pick out songs or make any choices. They simply just want your money. What do you do if you have the money and you can't afford it? Do you simply sit at home and say, I will give you money for the funeral just so you can all hopefully forgive me? But it doesn't usually end there. So what do you do? You're damned either way. Paying for a funeral, wedding, etc. expenses is not going to guarantee you a relationship with your children. They say they don't want to be controlled by money, but when nobody has money for this type of situation, they run back to the person that may be able to help in that manner. There is no clear-cut answer for this. I'm not going to say I know, because I have not been placed in that situation. But I have 2 daughters. They have a relationship with their dad. I don't know my daughter's means. I don't know their financial situations. But all I'm going to say is that if my ex-husband passed away and I was called for money to help pay for his funeral, that would be a hard no. There's no way. There's absolutely no way I would be able to support and send money for that. What would I do if one of my daughters passed away? It's been 15 years. They've been disconnected 15 years. There's been no financial support for them for 15 years. What would I say if one of my daughters passed away and the people in their life couldn't afford to have a funeral for her? I haven't crossed that bridge, so I don't know. But paying for a funeral is not going to mend the relationships with your other children. If you have the financial means and you're doing this as a last act of love, and forgiveness towards your estranged child, and this gives you peace, then you have to make your decision. Should you attend the funeral and be around people that don't like you? I would definitely say no. I know a friend of mine, her mother passed away. They had family all over the place. They live streamed the funeral, and everyone got a code to check in to the funeral that could not attend in person. That's another option. So there's no one clear cut answer because I don't have experience with this. I just know that I absolutely said, when all was said and done, and this woman did contribute and pay for the funeral. After that, it blew up. There was chaos, drama, and all that, and then she was blamed subsequently for something else. I said, block them all, remove them from your life, and close this chapter in your book. Don't